What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well. My name is Lamont. I've been a full-time trader for 6 years now, part of the TheChartGuys team for about half that time, where I head up our futures room and our swing report. In this video, we're going to update you on some of the recent trade ideas that were shared and hit you with a new one as well, a follow-up trade to an idea that's already worked out quite well. So let's get into it. First things first, MPC. This one's looking like it's going to set up again. So remember, MPC, bigger picture, it looks like this. Potentially a monthly bull flag just hanging out, going sideways, a balance setup, as Dan might say, or a balancing the scale setup, whatever he called it in that recent strategy video that he put out. Weekly time frame is just EQing here, space for a higher low over 140.92. On the daily time frame, I don't really care about it because it's going to be a hot mess because, well, it's bigger picture chop. So this trade setup has worked 4 times or something like that now. This was our most recent attempt at it, so that one's worked out again. And so really no change on this. You can just continue to run this trade idea over and over again because as long as this tiny little guy over here is supporting price, this little guy right here, held price there, held price there, held price there, and we haven't revisited it recently, but that's the idea. So just hold fast on this one. I still think this is a very reasonable trade setup. One thing we do have to be mindful of is that earnings is coming up soon, January 30th, so we still have a month. So that should be plenty of time. So I still like this trade idea very much exactly as it is. It's basically just looking for more balance. Okay. So ARM is a trade idea. This obviously that was not the recent trade idea. Oops, this one. I mean, we've covered it a lot already, but hang on a second here. So the old trade idea was nope. Yep, but where's the long position? There we go. Okay, so our original trade idea was over here. If you've initiated from here, you're just walking your stop up. Your stop can be under here, or if you want to tighten it up, it can be under here. Daily no change. So if you're still in from this setup from weeks ago, great, kudos to you. But I think that this new trade zone is also quite reasonable. That would be, nope, that would be this one here. So it's rather large trade zone. It can be a little bit more conservative, coming closer off of the daily no change level, the 72.99 level. But again, it's daily no change. These sellers will create no change without getting back through this high. So if they're going to defend this area at all, then it should be here. They would be most confident. The buyers would be most confident if they can hold over this high. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was like an initial hold. And the idea is as long as these buyers are holding over this prior area of demand, then this is just fine. So this is essentially play for a daily higher low. There's also it's also potentially a weekly higher low. There's a lot of space for it, but this trade zone, if the weekly higher low were to be set here, it would be rather healthy. So I'm not going to scale into it blindly. I'm going to let value move lower for a few times, and then for our swing report subscribers, I will send out an alert in the pre-market giving you the trade zone, very much like the trade zone from Microsoft last week. If you're a subscriber, I mean, I could just show you guys. It doesn't really matter. The idea is, this was the trade zone shared on this day. Didn't quite get to the target. It was just a very small win. But I send out these alerts for the swing report subscribers. If there is a session to session setup, I'm going to send them out like this. So I will do that for swing report subscribers for ARM as soon as it's ready. And I am interested in this one as well because I did not capture the trade from here. I captured this day and I captured one more session. I forget another one. I think it might have been this one. Either way, my gains from this trade are very, very small compared to what the swing report subscribers did who used the trade zone guy. So I'm personally interested in this, and yeah, so I'm looking out for it. These buyers will be most confident if they can hold over 72.99, but you can see how there's a big block of volume here at roughly 70.22, and so these buyers would still be confident even if they lose this as support if they can hold over this guy here at 70.22. GDX, I still like this trade zone. This trade zone makes a lot of sense. It sure looks like it's going to set up soon. So basically, we're looking for balance similar to this, right? The idea is that these buyers should be trying to come up to here as long as they're holding over all of these highs. So as long as these sellers can't trade back down under these highs, find acceptance under 29.49, then I rather like this idea. This is essentially also for a weekly higher low. So the weekly time frame, you're just kind of stair stepping up. Confirm this inverse head and shoulders here. Weekly higher low has been set at 28.67. Anything over that will be good for another weekly higher low. And so that's pretty much it. Wouldn't be surprised if we're like, yeah, if we would be looking for pretty much a backtest of this weekly 12 EMA. So essentially like looking for a play over here after coming out of this guy, looking for a backtest of the 12 EMA. It's already held once. On the daily, we're under it, but you know, we've already traded around it quite a bit. So swing report subscribers, I'll do the same thing. If there's a session-to-session setup, which could happen on Monday. So everybody, swing report subscribers, on Tuesday, I mean, swing report subscribers and public viewers. If on Monday you get a strong open over this session, so let's say you open up here, right, above this session or above the point of control, your trade zone would essentially look like this, right? Because you just don't want to trade through this, all this sideways. Something like this should be low risk. Something like that. Very reasonable. Chop it up here first if you get a test at 31.24. And then for the rest, maybe another chop here and then hold the rest for a potential swing. All right, so that's GDX. And then finally for KMX. Okay, so KMX, this one shook out way back when here. Did not get to target here, although it had plenty of time for sellers to get risk-free if you were looking for it there. And so now this is a very notable rejection from this supply zone here. And now the daily lower high has been set at 78.29. And so on Tuesday, very similar situation. On Tuesday, if you get a weak open, so the opposite of GDX, if you get a weak open under the point of control, or if you get an open above the point of control and can't hold above the point of control, that should be the go sign for these sellers to try to get follow through on this daily lower high being set. There's key support down here at 74.32. And I rather like this for a sell because essentially if you zoom out, all that's happening here is a whole bunch of balance under this guy and over, I guess it would have to be this fella here, right? Hang on, I feel like I had it drawn out. I guess not. I could have sworn I had it drawn out, but I guess not. Anyway, we can use this one as a guide too. It's probably also good. It's just that it's been traded through already. I guess not really accepted though, so okay. Let's use this guy as a guide. I like this actually as a guide because if they don't trade through this, they're not going to come back down here, and back here is where there was the last major area of demand. And although they did trade through this structure a bunch, you can see how reactive it was at the key levels. Right, look at that. No acceptance under the value area low. Breaks of it, just no acceptance under it. Hold the back test of the point of control. Hold the back test of the value area high. It's off to the races. Trade through it intraday. You can tell there's a lot of activity around there. I just kind of want to see it with some detail. Very clearly telling you this structure is meaningful. I would say so. Okay, so that's pretty much it for KMX. So the idea is if you do set a daily lower high here and this, well, you've already set the daily lower high, but if you see fall through on this lower high down to the lower lows, they should be trying to come here next, right? Because this guy is what was problematic for these buyers on this move up, on this move up. Here, let me hide this. On this move up, throughout all of these sessions, it was problematic. So if we lower high, lower low here beyond these lows, this should be pretty easy work for the sellers. It's one-way trade. So essentially, if you trade under, let's see, this low here, 74.21, the sellers should be squeezing these buyers. And if they don't do that, that's a good information too. That just means that this sell is probably not going to work out so well. Huh, a nice little rhyme. All right, so that is it. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you for sharing some of your time and energy with us. If you would like the full swing report, that's trade ideas from me, from Dan, from Funk, from Lori on occasion. Check out the swing report, links in the bottom below. And that is it. Appreciate you sharing some of your time and energy with me, and I will see y'all next week. Farewell. Oh, and Happy New Year.